Val. Because I couldn't see everybody. 1 second. I can do it later. Wait, I wanted to make sure I don't. No, here we go. Yeah, thank you. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out to our February 22nd meeting of the committee meeting of the wholes. We're going to start with saluting of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got this.
Short chair.
Nuh-uh. She switched chairs with me. No, this is the sinking chair. Wow, really? Oh, okay. So we're just going to go to Jeff for roll call, and I'm going to change my chair out. Go ahead.
I have taken roles, okay? I have taken roles.
Okay, roll is taken. Any special presentation? Okay. Any motions first?
No.
Okay. Now we are going to move on to review our agenda for our business meeting. Okay, we're going to. All right, we're going to start with community relations. A1. I'm sorry, Ms. Richardson.
Okay. Community Relations Committee agenda. Informational items. A1 is the William Penn School District Cultural Climate and Engagement Surveys. A2, the Penwood FBLA competes at regional conference. And I'll be reading that in entirety at the business meeting. A3, the kindergarten pre-registration for the 2022-2023 school year. Also, I'll be reading that in its entirety at the business meeting. I think that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson. We go into the education committee meeting by Ms. Val.
Good evening. B1, we will speak on the contract with the general healthcare resources. And the specifics are listed, and we'll go into, as was mentioned with Ms. Richardson, with greater detail. The positions and the hourly rates are listed. And B2, we will approve the athletic, spring athletic schedule.
Thank you, Ms. Are there any questions? I'm sorry. Are there any questions from the board members? Hearing none. Any questions? Any questions from the public? I don't see any. One hand raised. Hold on, I have one hand raised. Okay, I can't see it. Can we call on that person? Whose hand is raised? Miss Merrick, can you? Yeah, I don't see it. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, it's still not showing on my screen for some reason. But go ahead. What's the person's name?
Hello, it's Miss Commodore.
Oh, hello, Miss Commodore. You have the floor.
Thank you. Can you scroll down a little bit where it says with the contracts,
Okay.
the hiring for nurses and LPNs? Have this been brought to the union reps?
Dr. Vico, could you answer that?
I'm going to defer to Katie on that one.
Okay.
I have not had myself had conversations with the union about this. But I'm not sure, Tyra, if you or Gina have.
I could put a message out to Gina now. I know this was just in case if we should have to use them as we're exhausting all of our other communications and contracts with partners. So this was a just in case contingency agreement in case we needed to use the service, but I'll double back with Gina now.
All right.
Okay,
Commodore will make sure we'll provide a follow-up.
okay, thank you so much.
Are there any other questions from the public at this time? Okay, seeing none. We're going to go on to our personnel committee meeting. Ms. Wadia.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, C1 retirements. A professional staff, Jody Lessner and Diane Schumann. B support staff retirements, Deborah Fletcher. C2 resignations. C3 appointments. I'm just gonna highlight those professional staff, David Bronstein, Shavela Carter, Bogdan Christie, Megan Colita, Mandy Mufasa, pardon me. B support staff, Mia Ayers and Needham O'Brien. C4 leaves of absence. C5 miscellaneous appointments. And those include the 2021 mentor, 2022 mentor, C third and fourth quarter scheduling support, D credit recovery program, E credit recovery program at Penwood High School, F deep dive into the rapid assessment professional development, G Dreambox training professional development, H intro to wonders professional development, I math framework #1 professional development, J monthly classroom management series presented by EBS, K my perspectives professional development, L ELA professional development and training, M Penwood Middle School student device inventory, N Penwood Middle School Saturday Success Academy, O Title I tutoring, May 7th through May 9th, 2022. P 2021-2022 spring sports supplementals. C6 modification to previously approved item. And that concludes my report.
Are there any questions from the board at this time?
Can you turn on the talking to
Any questions from the public?
the talking to me on this Commodore? Can you turn that on?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ivory. Our property committee agenda, there are no, Mr. Tom, would you like to say anything?
No, there are no property committee agenda items tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tom.
Ask a question, on property, where are we with the bus lot, the old bus lot?
I'm going to defer that to Dr. Vika.
I am not sure. I will follow up with Mr. Khan and I will provide a update in this weekly's Friday update in reference to the bus lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, just refreshing everyone's memory from the last meeting with regard to the bus lot. What I do know is that they were waiting for what were they looking for? A commercial broker. They were waiting for the broker to get back to them. So I was in the email today. One of the brokers did respond to Mr. Khan's email. So just to let you, I do know that information.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to our Budget and Finance Committee. Ms. Hall.
E1 Treasurer's Report, E2 List of Bills, E3 General Obligation Bond Series 2022. I'm going to read this since we'll be asked to vote on it next week. The motion is for the Board of School Directors of the William Penn School District, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, known as the school district, is hereby authorized the administration to work with PFM Financial Advisors, LLC, as a financial advisor, Raymond James as underwriter, Eckert Siemens, Sharon M. Malo, LLC as bond counsel, and Sweet Stevens, Cass and Williams, LLP as solicitor, in conjunction with the issuance of a general obligation bond series of 2022 for the purpose of funding the new money needs of the district in the approximate amount of $9,995,000. Thank you, Ms. Boykin.
Thank you. Are there currently any questions from board of directors at this? Oh, there's an E4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Jeff. E4 is on the back.
E4, PEPPM purchase of switches, wireless equipment, and uninterruptible power supply devices. There'll be 3 motions. The Board of School Board Directors authorizes the purchase of switch equipment. The Board of School Directors authorize the purchase of wireless equipment, and the Board of School Directors authorizes the purchase of uninterruptible power supply equipment. Numbers to be supplied by next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, does any board of directors have any questions or comments? Are there anyone in the public?
Yes. Ms. Commodore is back.
Okay. And Katie's hand is up as well. Oh,
Hello again.
hello.
I had asked the question roughly about a month ago. I don't know if this is the right meeting. It was during the budget meeting as well, where I had made the inquire about the funding that we have in our ESSR, about possibly considering giving $1,000 or $1,500 to each member employee in the district under being essential personnel, because a lot of people did work very hard during the pandemic, giving a consideration of also maybe being a morale booster, something that would be separate from their regular paycheck, because I know it has been done in other districts. And I was wondering, was there any consideration, thought on that, or an update on that?
At the time that, so the short answer is yes. We did have discussions around that, and I believe that we landed with the items that were provided to staff maybe about a month ago. There were like 5 items that we included. One of them being the half-day Wednesdays, the additional money for supplies and support, the increase in payment for participating in professional developments that related to, I believe it was math and ELA, which is the real focus. And it may have been one other item that we added, and I'm doing this off of memory, but those were the items that we landed on versus providing a one-time, I'll just call it a stipend, if you will.
Okay. With that, was that in consideration with both bargaining units or just one? Because I was never aware of that situation.
It was conversations that we had with board members as well as other individuals within the district. I don't recall if we had a specific conversation with you, Ms. Commodore. I know that we were scheduled to meet recently, but that meeting has been postponed until a later date.
That is true. That is true. Because I remember back in the meeting, Mr. Cuff had stated that it was with the union reps, and I had let them know that I was unaware of that. So I was wondering which union reps, basically of the union leaders, because our union, from my understanding and from my knowledge, was not aware of that conversation. where the decisions and the considerations and suggestions were made.
And I think that would have been discussed at our scheduled meeting that was rescheduled. And that meeting was rescheduled due to some things on your end.
That is
But,
true.
you know, things happen, we understand that, so we can definitely discuss that when we are scheduled to meet. I think we're scheduled to meet one day next week, if I'm not mistaken.
That is, yes, that is correct. Okay, we can do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Commodore. All right, and we will be going on to our policy committee agenda. Ms. Hopkins.
Good evening, everyone. Policy committee agenda. F1, second reading of amended policies 100 and 101. Is our second reading. Policy 100 is a strategic plan under programs. Policy 101 is philosophy education, again, under programs. We're asking the motion to approve the second reading and adoption of the William Penn School District policies and to enter such reading into the minutes. Second, F2, first reading of amended policies 102 and 103 and 104. 102 is academic standards under programs. 103 is discrimination, Title IX, sexual harassment affecting staff and students under programs, and 104 is non-discrimination in employment, school, and classroom practices. The motion is to approve the first reading of the above policies and to enter such reading into the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any board of directors that have any questions at this time? Or anyone from the public? Okay, and we have new business. Okay, so Mr. Cuff, we want to go to our new business. Okay, so resolution in support of the Pennsylvania school funding litigation for fair funding. The motion will be to adopt the resolution supporting the parents of individual children, the school districts, the Pennsylvania Association of Rural and Small Schools, in the PA NAACP State Conference in their suit to enforce Pennsylvania's constitutional guarantee of a thorough and efficient system of public education, and urging the Pennsylvania General Assembly to provide a fair, adequate, and predictable funding system that enables all children to meet the state academic standards and does not discriminate against low-wealth school districts. So the motion will be to adopt this resolution or support it and support it. Are there any questions at this time from any board of directors? Okay, any questions from anyone in the public? Okay. Any board of directors have any comments, non-agenda related at this time?
So I want to add that when we get to it, the next property meeting wasn't listed here.
Yes, that's another thing. I didn't have a list of, it actually is, it's in the first part. So before we,
The property is not listed. is what he's saying.
oh, at all, oh, yeah, I thought you were talking about this, part. Okay, gotcha. So Mr. Tom, if you want,
Yep, the next property meeting would be, I believe, March the 2nd, that went first Wednesday.
okay. So if everyone heard, the next property meeting is March 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Okay, and just a review of our other meetings before we adjourn. Our policy committee meeting will be on March 3rd at 6:30 p.m., which is a Thursday. Our education meeting will be on March 9th, which is a Wednesday at 6:30. A budget advisory committee meeting will be held at 6:30 p.m. It's via Zoom on March 17th, which is a Thursday. Then the next committee meeting of the wholes will be March 21st at 6:30 p.m. It will be here in the admin building, and you can go via Zoom. And our next business meeting for school board directors will be on March 28th at 6:30 PM, which is a Monday. Our next personnel committee meeting will be March 29th at 6:30 PM, which is a Tuesday. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming out tonight. With that being said, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Right.